Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a quick disassembly on the Divo knives Growler V2. So I just started this and my dog was going bananas, so I just started over. Yeah, so this is the new V2 by Kubi. I actually took apart this one right here, the Stormtrooper, last night. Got it all cleaned up, put Skiffs in there, and yeah, she is singing. The D10 even got crispier, which it was already crispy as hell. I mean, look. Woo, clickety click. Yeah. I've been rocking this one for a couple days, so I cleaned it with soap and water. It was nice and white, and then I carried it, and it kind of darkens up again a little bit. It has these lines in the G10 that kind of get that darker look. Not sure how I feel about that, but either way, I think I like it quite a bit, more than I anticipated. We also have a micarta version with bronze tie accents. This is titanium that's anodized, so it's not going to add weight. It's very lightweight. I will admit the bronze has a little bit of a greenish hue to it. I don't know if that's because there's green titanium around it, but this one has it too. So we're going to make sure we clear that up in production. We do want to change this one, I think, to a blue collar. We wanted to do that initially, but the MOQ, or minimum order quantity, sorry, kind of got in the way there a little bit. We weren't sure how many of these we were going to order, you know, depending on price, and because we had just dropped the V1 and there was, you know, it's like 600 of those, so we didn't really want to have to order 600 again. So we tried to make these two use the same hardware and finish, and that way we could, you know, keep it to a lower minimum. But I'm not sure that's going to fly. We might want to change this to blue and this to satin, and then try to do a satin on this, although I do like the way this stonewash looks. Their satin isn't my favorite, so we'll see what we do. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I do like the way the micarta looks with the bronze. So, you know, I would like to keep that, but if we have to change stuff, we might. Another thing we could do is just change it to silver. So you could do a silver collar and backspacer, basically satin tie, and then that would work here too. You know, it might not look as good as the bronze, but it would get us through, and it would be better, I think, than the way this is, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on that. See what you think. Oh, let me put this one away. So let's get into it. I have the MBK bit driver. It's already stinking my hands up. It's one thing I don't love about brass or bronze is stinky in my hands. You can remove this shield and then it'll expose the balls. So if you don't like that silver look, I believe you can do that. Yeah, these will be available soon, if not already. Let's rip into this quickly. All T8 hardware, so we strive to provide a easy disassembly experience. We don't want to make things complicated for you, so we want it to be all the same hardware if possible. There are going to be exceptions, such as clips. Like on the original Growler, the clip screws are T6, unfortunately. On this knife, everything is T8. We do have a knife coming out, the Lush, that I believe is going to have T6s on the inlays, the body screw underneath, and the steel insert screw. And then these are T8. That is because Concept said that is what they have to do for these small areas and to keep the screw holes small for the inlays, which I think looks good. And I think they just have a surplus of T6, so they want to use them up. I'm not going to fight that battle too hard, but we'll see if we can get that switched over to T8. Let's see if I can get this off without a pry bar. I needed a pry bar last night for the other one. Nope, there we go. Very simple if you look at it. I mean, you have a scale, you have a liner, you have a blade, and you have bearings. These are going to be 5mm 1/16 bearings. I know that already from last night, and because it's what I asked for. Stop pin. And then you're going to have another liner, backspacer. They did add a pin right here, which is nice. So that pin helps keep everything in place. There's nothing along this line here. So there is a tiny bit of flex. I wouldn't say it's anything that's going to cause issues. But you can flex this a little bit. But it's G10 with a steel liner underneath. The reason it flexes slightly is because there's a screw here, a pin here, a screw here, and then a pivot here. There's nothing in between, right? So the only thing we could do to stop that is bring the backspacer up. We probably have to add another screw. And I don't think that's necessary. You're not gonna like feel it. It's not flexing like a bug out or anything. It's just very, very slight. See how the micarta is. Yeah, same thing here. Ugh. I mean, I'm bearing down. I just don't think it's an issue. But something to note. All right, let me just put a little bit of a side-by-side here. We could do this. Scale like that, maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. Collars. Some of the screws here. Why not, right? And the bearings. And then I'm going to take a picture. For posterity's sake, I'm going to take a picture now. AKA for my thumbnail. Alright. I can just put this right back on. Oops. I thought we had removed the backspacer on this, but I guess we didn't. So let's clean everything up quickly. So I use isopropyl 91, whatever I can get at my CVS or Walgreens. And I just wipe the out of everything in there. Then I'll go onto the liners, clean everything down. The part that's going to be the dirtiest is going to be our blade probably. So let's just make sure everything here is clean. And then check this guy out. So here you go. You got some schmutz. Well, doesn't look too bad. So we'll see. What is that? Why is the stop pin sticking to this? Hang on. That was weird. It's like magnetized or something. I like to always clean those bearing pockets out. And then, most importantly, you clean the tang and you clean the detent hole. Don't skimp on the detent hole, guys. This can make your detent stronger. It can make your action smoother. You just want to clean that out. You can see there's some dirt in there, or some schmutz, we call it. Yeah, lots of schmutz in there, so we're going to clean that guy up. That's just from machining. That's what happens, you know. Let me grab another one. This time I'm going to dip it in alcohol. So I'm just going to take my alcohol like this. I love this spray bottle because I can just bang. And then I'll take a blade that I tossed. And get the rest of that. I'll clean these pockets with it while I'm here. Go back in. All right. Should be good. And by the time I put everything together, that'll dry out. All right. So we've cleaned everything except for the pivot. So I'll just lay this across. I have the alcohol on the cloth. And then I'm going to drive my T8 in there with the cloth, and you're gonna see a lot of shit come out. Watch. Well, that wasn't too bad actually. That was pretty good. Let's see if it's on the screw. I may have already cleaned that. I can't remember if I cleaned it. I know I adjusted the pivot at one point, but let's see. Yeah, not bad. The other one was like just black everywhere. So now we can take our stop pin, pop that bad boy in, take our backspacer, pop that guy in like so. We can get our bearings. It's gonna be 5mm 1/16. got a lot of bearings right now. But those are the ones I always need more of. It's like never ending the amount of knives that I pour 5mm 1/16 bearings into. And seriously, it's not funny. Just in the last day, I'll show you. Just in the last, well, I'll say a couple days, but I did the Denka, which I haven't touched this since the disassembly, so hopefully, there, just pinch it. This one, 5mm 1/16, dropped them in there. Ooh. Come on, baby, smooth out for me. Yeah, it's getting better. Dead centered. Love this knife, just getting it ready, and then I can carry it. So I put them in there. I put them in here. My Bridgeport 395, which, guys, please go pick one of these up if you haven't. He has the micarta versions. I know these are available with the studs and the hole. Really sweet knife, guys. The size, the fact that it's in 20 CV, and they're 145 bucks in micarta, 190 in CF. So I just did that one, and then I did this guy. I did my Dapper recently. I think that's it. It wasn't that many, but just feels like it, you know. All right, I'm gonna shut up. So we got that cleaned up. Now we grab our KPL. Go check out knifepivotlube.com. Use my code LeftyEDC at checkout. Get yourself some lubes. Get yourself some of the Q-tips. Get yourself some Loctite. Get yourself rust eraser. Get yourself knife shield. All that stuff. Super helpful, guys. So what I'm going to do is just put a tiny bit along the detent track. Maybe just see if it sops up anything there. That's our heavy. That's all I use that for. And then I use the original. Get my finger all nice and lubed. Flip it over. And then I can place it on. And then slide everything over here a little bit. These can go up here. All right. Drop the old blade on. This uses the same captive system as the mash. Okay. Drop that on. Clean my finger off. And then, should be relatively easy assembly. Just make sure everything lines up, because you got pins in the back, you got pins in the front. Stop pin falls out. Okay, hold on. Put this back in. Okay, folks, let's calm down here. Let's get everything lined up. There we go. Everything lines up nice, and then you slide on your CF scale, like so, and then pop in your collar, and then I'll usually drop in this screw and the pivot, and I'm just kind of getting it tuned. I'm not gonna set it yet, so you'll see in a second. I'm just gonna, okay, I gotta check the screw on the other side. Let me just tighten this down. So we want to make sure everything is in. Looks like it's in. So we might just not have seated that right. And there we go. That's in. It's not the best angle. You can turn it a little bit if you need to. But I'm not too worried about that right now. Dead centered. Everything looks pretty good. I wonder if I could unscrew this a little and then pop it forward. Yep. So then I could pop it forward and then give it a little turn, hopefully. Yep, pop it back in. And then make sure it tightens. There's a little bit of room in that captive pivot, but you can usually adjust it like I just did, but now it wants to turn back. So, oh, I just didn't push it in far enough. So, yep, now it's angled much better. Centered. Tighten this. Now, for those of you who don't use Loctite or anything, you're done, right? I mean, we got the Skiffs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Detent feels a little snappier because we cleaned that hole out, so she said. Centered. No play, no rock. What's up with that? Hold on. Okay. And then you have this screw here for the clip. And you are put together. Bang. So we can try, let's see if we back off a touch, if there's any play. No play. So, see how much we can get out of this. No play. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially dropping at this point. Well, no. This one's not quite drop shut. The Stormtrooper is very droppy. So just to be careful, because we had a little bit of issue there the first time. Best thing I noticed to do is take the collar, pop it in. Pop your screw in. Get it lined up. And then drive that in. And it's just being a little bit of a bitch. Centered. There we go. I think it just needed a little bit of a reset. I don't know. I'm also just making shit up at this point. So, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to, well, if it wants to stay on there like that, nah. Pop that in. I'm going to get my glue. Don't try this at home unless you've done it before. This is going to unscrew right off of the top, unfortunately. Yeah. And then probably, oh God, what's going on here? There we go. A downside of working with glue is you have issues like this. Let me see. Do I have a Q-tip? See if I can't sop that shit up. Drive this baby back in. Problem I have is the lid, this glues to this, and then you unscrew and the whole thing unscrews. Just at some point you just run into a nightmare with it, and you just usually at that point I just throw it away. But well, that's not true. I try to milk it. Like I try to just get it to keep working a little bit. But I'll probably end up replacing this very soon. Oh, it might be dead anyway. Or there's a, it needs to be opened up. If it needs to be opened up, we're going to have a big gush come out of here in a second. So that's not good either, but we'll see. All right, I think she's toast. So what I'm going to do is unscrew this. Use this guy. Let's see what I can get out of here. Yeah, there's still a little bit in there, so this is what I'm going to do. Carefully put a little bit there. And then, hopefully I got enough. run it on the screw. This is me kind of rigging it here, guys, so just bear with me. Centered. No play at all. I mean, that is a tank. Good to go. Let me just let that sit. And then, where's the lid? I threw it away tonight. I'm just going to throw this whole thing away. She's done. Clean my fingies off. I should have another pen up there, I think. And then I'll order another one from Amazon. It's still the best application I've found of the glue. And that glue seems to do a good job, so I don't like swapping things that work really well. Yeah, you just need to be careful not to use too much. Because if you used way too much, you can't get it to come out, basically. So I'm gonna put my bearings away while that cures up. Got my, what's this thing called? Giltech Rock Lefty. Shout out to Jesse. I believe Jesse's the one who traded me for this. I traded him that little arrow crafted one. He gave me this one. This is cool. I like it better than that one because I can actually swap the blades out easy. MBK driver. All right. So, what did we learn today, folks? Well, we learned that the Growler V2 is dope. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. We got it done. We got her done. It fits Skiff bearings, that's for sure. I got it in 2 of them at this point. They feel nice and smooth. It was already really smooth. Honestly, most Kubi knives do not need bearings, Skiff bearings. They do a good job with everything. I mean, they do a really good job. It's nice and tight. Yeah, the only thing I would think to add to this knife is maybe, you know, the color differences on the collars, and maybe just cut in a slight bit more lock bar access. It's not like it really needs it, but I don't think it would hurt either. Let's cut some stuff, because some of you guys might be curious how this got cut. Yeah, I'd say she cut. So full forward choil grip on that jimping, locked in. Nice. Go to work on that. Very nice. Choked back. Standard grip. The only thing you gotta watch out for, and that's why I love choils, because I can choke up and I can guide the blade, right? I'm not gonna hit that. I'm not gonna catch right here because I'm choked up onto it. And if I just guide the blade on, there's no missing, right? But if I hold back here, I might catch here on accident. It's just what I do. So you just have to be you know, aware of that when you're cutting. I think that's me just not catching the paper right. Yeah. Solid. Very, very solid. Now, the prototypes are D2 because that's what Kubi does. They don't make prototypes out of the actual steel. We plan to have these in 154 cm. So that is the plan. And hopefully you guys are into that. So let me know your thoughts on this. I just want to give you a little preview. I like to have a video done of the disassembly so that when they do come in, you guys already have access to something, right? I mean, the disassembly is not going to change. You're still going to have the same. Let's see how the carbon fiber flexes, if at all. Yeah, it's got a little bit. So it's not actually the material flexing, though. I just want to make that clear. It's the fact that it's pinned on the ends and there's just space in between. So you're just kind of squeezing that space. But you can see That's the carbon fiber, the carbon fiber, the micarta. I can get a good squeeze on, and the G10 is like somewhere in the middle, closer to the CF, I'd say. But they all feel really solid in hand. I haven't noticed any of that in the hand. I'm kind of forcing it, right? This one just has stupid action, and the detent is probably the strongest too, and it's maybe the most drop shut. This one I haven't taken apart, and that might be the best one. Kubi just crushes action, guys. Absolutely love them right now. So there it is. Let me know what you guys think. I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.